G'day viewers, Ed Fox, Networking Education. So today we're going to talk about, um, you ever been in a situation where you're at a networking event and you're trying to tell a story and somebody jumps in and just hijacks the conversation? Just hijacks the conversation. That could have been me. I could have been doing that because I sucked at networking when I first started and I did silly things like that, but I have learned. Now, does that mean I never hijack a conversation? No, I probably still screw that up occasionally. But if you can remember that you're not meant to hijack the conversation, you're trying to get others to tell the story. So you're almost becoming a facilitator of the conversation if you're in a multiple person group. And if it's just the two of you networking, then make sure you don't hijack the conversation. Let them talk, ask them questions. We've gone over this before, right? And so, I got all the fingers pointing back at me when I got one finger pointing at you. These other three, they're pointing back at me. So yeah, just don't hijack the conversation. How about this one? Is your online presence up to date? Whatever platforms you use for business to network, for me, it's pretty simple. It's like Facebook, LinkedIn, Alignable. I don't really do Twitter. I don't really do Snapchat. I don't do Pinterest. But LinkedIn, Alignable, and Facebook tend to be my social medias of choice that I build my businesses on. So make sure your online presence is up to date. There's no fun meeting somebody at a networking event and then you go look them up on LinkedIn and they're like not working for the company they were talking about, but they've never updated their profile. Make sure you're posting to LinkedIn. LinkedIn's still a very valuable tool. If your business is hyper local, you definitely want to look at Alignable. Alignable works really great with hyper local businesses. And if you don't know what Alignable is, search it, alignable.com, Alignable, and figure out what it's about. But it's well worth taking a look at too. And then the last thing is R before S. Now, what's that mean? We learn it on Sesame Street, like they taught us that R comes before S. Relationships before selling. You don't go to a networking event to sell. You go to a networking event to connect two people. Maybe sometimes you'll make a connection for yourself, but play the game of connecting others. We've talked about that before. But remember, relationships come before selling. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I don't remember who said that, but I've heard that a million times. Zig Ziglar says, help enough other people get what they want. You can have everything in life you want. Is it true? Sounds pretty good. It's worked for me. Like I help other people and they help me, and that's the way it works. So anyway, those are my three for today. Don't hijack the conversation. Let the other person talk. All the fingers pointing back at me on that one because that's one of my weakest areas. Is your online presence up to date? Get it up to date. Take some time. Just block out some time. 10 minutes a day. 30 minutes on a Saturday. Whatever it is, block out that time to make sure your online presence is up to date. If you walked into a convenience store and there was cobwebs hanging off the cookies and the chips and the drinks weren't cold because the fridge quit working, you probably wouldn't want to buy anything. Well, if somebody looks at your online presence and you haven't updated or posted on LinkedIn in a year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or never, you need to change that. LinkedIn, Alignable, Facebook, or whatever your social media. And then R before S. Remember, relationships before selling. That's what I got for you today. Ed Fox with Networking Education. I'd love to connect with you. Look me up on LinkedIn, Facebook. Let's connect. Thanks a lot and have a great day.